I clicked on the ID that was mentioned the most under his post. A girl named Chloe, 5 years. Ethan has never brought me to his home, always saying his parents are traveling. Last night he was holding me, whispering that he wanted to have a child with me. Today, I came across his post on the local forum Unfiltered, dating a girlfriend for 5 years. Her education and job are unimpressive. How to break up gracefully, waiting online, urgent. The picture attached is of me, a candid photo he took of me laughing heartily, with the background being the small apartment we rented. He was too lazy to even cut off the old t-shirt I had been wearing for 3 years behind me. The InstaLife homepage was as exquisite as a work of art. In the post, he listed my crimes. Graduated from a vocational college, working as a bartender in a bar, unstable and undignified. My parents are ordinary workers, unable to provide any help for his career. He wrote several hundred words at length, but the core idea was just one: I, Maya, am not worthy of him. A graduate of a prestigious university and a promising future as an assistant lecturer. He needs a girlfriend who can be proudly shown off in front of relatives and friends. And I, obviously, do not qualify. Graduated from a prestigious university, interned at a well-known multinational company, with photos set against concert halls or art exhibitions. My heart felt as if it was being squeezed by an invisible hand, aching so much that I could hardly breathe. I silently closed the page, my nails digging deep into my palm. For him, I gave up the band I loved and restrained all my unruliness. He said he liked long, straight black hair, so I stopped dyeing my hair in wild colors. He said tattoos were not good for girls, so I endured the pain to remove the small patterns on my arm, leaving only the initials of his name behind my waist. He said that was the proof of our love. Ridiculous. Every post was elegant and appropriate, perfectly matching the ideal type Ethan described in his post. It turned out that he had already found someone else. The phone vibrated. It was Ethan. Baby, are you asleep? My mom said she wants to see you tomorrow. How about spending the new year at your place together? While he disparaged me online, he casually sweet-talked me as if nothing was wrong, using my parents' expectations of him to cover up the fact that his parents are unwilling to meet me. I felt an overwhelming wave of exhaustion. Let's talk about it later. I'm a bit sleepy. Once, I was also full of joy, thinking he would take me home. It's like this again. It was the 3rd year of our relationship when he finally let it slip that his parents had finished their long round-the-world trip and could finally meet me. I was so excited that I couldn't sleep well for several days. I spent nearly half of my savings on new clothes and learned to apply delicate makeup. When my mom found out, she secretly gave me a card, telling me to buy some decent gifts so they wouldn't look down on me. I spent a long time choosing expensive health supplements and tea for my future in-laws. The day before leaving, he casually said, "Honey, my parents suddenly went to the Maldives again. Maybe next time." That time, the gift I prepared sat in the cabinet until it expired. To be sure, I logged into HelpNet with a fake account, pretending to ask what gifts to give to my boyfriend's parents for the new year. Fingers swiped across the screen, and an urgent help post caught my eye. Campus help request, bringing my girlfriend home for spring festival. But my parents might be unhappy with her education and job. How should I handle this? The poster's ID was none other than the one Ethan often used. Clicking in, the content was much the same as the one on Unfiltered, only the tone was more urgent, revealing an anxious desire to quickly settle the matter of bringing the new girlfriend home. The last straw broke me. It was late at night. Ethan turned over, his arm habitually draped over my waist. I froze, waiting for his breathing to even out, then quietly picked up his phone. The password was my birthday. How ironic. I had just opened his social app when he woke up. "Baby, what are you looking at?" He was sleepy, with a hint of wariness. I hurriedly put down my phone. "Nothing. I just can't sleep." He hummed softly, turned over with his back to me, and soon resumed his steady breathing, pretending to be asleep. He was too lazy to even give an explanation or have a conversation. At this moment, I clearly realized that this relationship might really need to end. The next day, Mom called, her voice full of joy. "Nan, what dishes does Ethan like? I'll prepare more. It's his first time visiting, so we can't be negligent." Listening to my mother's cautious hope, my heart felt like it was soaked in bitter herbal water, unbearably bitter. I took a deep breath, trying to make my voice sound normal. "Mom, Ethan has something urgent at school. He can't come back this year. I'll go back alone." There was a few seconds of silence on the other end of the phone, Then my mother said softly, "It's okay, work is important. Let him focus on it. He can come back next year just the same." I hummed in response, hung up the phone, and could no longer hold back my tears. I have let down my mother's expectations. I decided to find Ethan and explain everything to him face to face. When I arrived at his university office, the door was ajar. I pushed open the door. There was no one inside. A piece of paper on the table caught my attention. It was an A4 sheet with a vertical line drawn down the middle, with Maya written on the left and Chloe on the right. Below was a detailed comparison. Maya, education, college diploma, unqualified, job, bar bartender, unstable, undignified, family background, ordinary working class, no support, advantages, good figure, decent looks, treats me well. Chloe, education, prestigious university master's degree, excellent, job, multinational corporation, respectable, promising, family background, scholarly family with social resources, advantages, meets parents' expectations, brings face when taken out. At the bottom, Ethan wrote heavily in red pen, comprehensive consideration. Chloe is the best choice. Relationship must be confirmed quickly. Bring her home for the spring festival. Every single word felt like a knife, torturing my heart. It turns out that in his eyes, I was nothing more than a set of quantifiable conditions. Even that little being good to me seemed so cheap. Clutching that piece of paper, I rushed into the tiered classroom where he was teaching. "Ethan," my voice trembled. He was standing on the podium, and when he saw me, he frowned. A girl in a white dress stood up, walked over to Ethan, and affectionately linked her arm with his. She saw the paper in my hand, reached out to take it, and a smug smile curled at the corner of her mouth. "Oh, isn't this the analysis chart Ethan made?" Her voice was low, but loud enough for everyone in the classroom to hear. She cleared her throat and recited with intonation, "Maya, vocational school, works at a bar, ordinary family background, TSK. The conditions really are a bit lacking." After finishing, she looked at me, her eyes full of pride and contempt, "But don't be too upset. When Ethan was chasing me, he also made a list, saying I outclassed his ex in every way." Ex? So it turned out, I wasn't even the current one anymore. Ethan tugged Chloe's hand and whispered, "Stop messing around." Then he looked at me, his eyes cold, without a trace of guilt. "Maya, have you had enough of this? Isn't what's written on this watch the truth?" The truth? I changed for him, sacrificed for him, yet in his eyes, I was just a label with poor conditions. "Ethan," I looked at him, word by word, "we're breaking up." It was Chloe. He was stunned for a moment, then said impatiently, "Here we go again? Threatening me with a breakup? Maya, can't you be more mature?" His heart had long since drifted far away. I turned and walked away, not looking back at him once. The paper filled with my crimes was crumpled into a ball by me and thrown into the trash can by the roadside. I didn't tell my mother about the breakup. She's old, and I was afraid she couldn't bear it. Back at the bar, I mixed drinks as usual, but my heart felt empty. I remember when I first started working here, Ethan was very supportive of me. He said he liked the way I focused when mixing drinks, and he liked the free-spirited vibe I had. When did it start to change? Probably after he was promoted to instructor and began mingling with more of the upper-class people. Despair overwhelmed me like a tide. He began to deliberately or unintentionally look down on my job as not respectable enough, complain about my late returns, and dislike the smell of alcohol on me. He wanted me to be like Chloe, to become a standard girlfriend who could enhance his image. Late at night, a few drunk men in the bar got into a conflict and started fighting. In the chaos, a bottle flew towards me. I couldn't dodge in time and my back hit the bar counter hard. A sharp pain struck, my vision went black, and I nearly fainted. The bone seemed to be broken. I struggled to find my phone and instinctively dialed Ethan's number. "Sorry, the user you are trying to reach is temporarily unavailable," came the cold automated message. I kept dialing over and over, but no one answered. In despair, I used the last bit of strength to crawl out of the bar. The cold wind hit my face, sobering me up a little. I opened InstaLife, wanting to see if Ethan was out on a date with Chloe again. As expected, Chloe posted a new update half an hour ago. A photo of her with Ethan's parents, captioned, "Thank you, Uncle and Aunt, for your hospitality. Ethan's family dinner was wonderful." In the photo, Ethan stands beside Chloe, smiling gently. His parents are also smiling kindly at Chloe. It turned out that his parents never actually went on a trip. It turned out that his so-called taking me home was a complete lie from start to finish. His so-called pretending to be real was nothing more than treating me like a joke. I dragged my injured body, step by step, back to the rented room. Seeing the light on inside the house, a faint warmth flickered in my heart. Could it be that Ethan is back? Has his conscience finally awakened? I pushed the door open and was stunned. Chloe was wearing the Max Mara coat I had specially bought to make an impression, one I had hardly ever worn, sitting leisurely on my sofa, flipping through a fashion magazine. That coat was something I bought after saving and scrimping for months, just so I wouldn't embarrass him at those so-called gatherings with his friends. "What are you doing here?" I asked hoarsely. Chloe was startled when she saw me, but quickly regained her composure, even with a hint of provocation. "Ethan asked me to pick up some of his things and see if you had left." She looked me up and down, disdain in her eyes. "Oh, by the way, this coat is nice. Ethan said he gave it to me." Anger burned in my chest. I rushed over and tore the coat off her. "This is mine." Chloe screamed and recoiled, tears streaming down. "What are you doing, Ethan? She's bullying me." Ethan rushed out of the bedroom and shielded Chloe behind him. He saw me, frowning. "Maya, what are you crazy about again? It's just a piece of clothing. Is it really worth it? If Chloe likes it, just give it to her. Are you really that petty?" He didn't even ask me why I came back so late or why I looked so pale. My heart was completely dead. His eyes were only on the crying Chloe. He picked up the coat I had thrown on the ground and, without even looking, tossed it directly into the mop bucket filled with dirty water beside him. "If you treasure it so much, then don't want it anymore," he said coldly. The expensive coat was instantly soaked through with filthy water. My heart sank to the bottom of the abyss along with it. Ethan held the still sobbing Chloe, gently comforting her. All right, don't cry anymore. I'll buy you a new one. Be good." He embraced Chloe and walked out, slamming the door shut with a bang. Only I was left in the room, along with a bucket of dirty water soaking a designer coat, and my heart, full of wounds and holes, that could never heal again. The last trace of hope was gone. I took out my phone and found that unfiltered help post Ethan had sent. I replied under it with my alternate account: "Mature man, good at what he does, not clingy, can play the perfect boyfriend to appease parents, price negotiable, DM if interested, professional guaranteed, attached a temporarily registered contact number, soon." A guy with a fresh-looking profile picture added me. His ID was Leo. "Hello, I saw your message on Unfiltered. I need a boyfriend to go home with for the new year. Send me the address," I replied. Then everything went black before I completely lost consciousness. The smell of disinfectant filled my nostrils. Sitting by the bedside was a young man with delicate features and fair skin, truly looking like a clear-cut college guy. When he saw I was awake, his eyes lit up. Then he looked a bit awkward. "You're awake? The doctor said you have a fractured vertebra and need to rest." "He is Leo." Am I too late?" he asked cautiously, pointing to the broken phone on the bedside table. "Do you want to return it? The deposit can be refunded, and the medical expenses I can also." He looked so pitiful, like a little dog afraid of being abandoned. I felt like laughing, yet also a bit heartbroken. "No refund," I said. "It was just a little accident." At that moment, my mom's call came through, and it was Leo answering the video call on his phone. Nan, who's this next to you?" Mom was taken aback when she saw Leo. Leo reacted quickly and immediately showed a well-behaved smile. "Hello, Auntie, I'm Maya's boyfriend, Leo." In just a few words, he explained everything clearly, saying that we had known each other for a long time but only recently confirmed our relationship, and that he had been busy with work, so he hadn't had the chance to tell my mom. Mom watched the video of Leo, who was gentle and refined, calling her auntie sweetly with every word, and couldn't stop smiling. She immediately decided, "Good kid, then this year you'll come home for the new year with Maya." After hanging up the video call, I looked at Leo, who scratched his head a little embarrassedly and said, Professionalism. I transferred the deposit to him. "Pleasure doing business with you," I said. "Pleasure working with you." He smiled, revealing two small tiger teeth. Leo helped me with the discharge procedures and also helped me move. The things Ethan left behind, along with that coat soaked in dirty water, were mercilessly thrown into the trash by him. I woke up again, this time in the hospital. "Out with the old, in with the new," he said. He also sent a message to Ethan in my name, The breakup fee and coat compensation total $50,000, to be transferred to my account within 3 days. Also, I wish you and Chloe a lifetime of happiness. Locked tight. Ethan replied instantly, his tone tinged with a barely noticeable panic. Maya, stop messing around. Chloe is sick. I'm just taking care of her. The new year is coming. Don't get upset over a coat. I promise you, this year I will definitely take you home. I looked at those hypocritical words and could only find them laughable. Cowardice, insincerity, shirking responsibility. This is the man I have loved for 5 years. I transferred all the money that belonged to me from the joint account with Ethan, then blocked all contact with him and Chloe. After thinking it over, I liked Chloe's Insta-Live post showing off her family feast and commented, "The sugar daddy looks a lot like my boyfriend. Be careful not to get tricked into a marriage or swindled out of money, sis," accompanied by a meaningful smile emoji. After finishing all this, I felt refreshed and invigorated. Leo and I went back to my house together. Mom was extremely pleased with Leo, her future son-in-law. He was sweet-talking, articulate, and even took the initiative to help out, making my parents beam with joy. The atmosphere at the New Year's Eve dinner table was lively. Ethan's call came in at an inconvenient time. It was my mom's phone. He probably couldn't reach me and was trying to go through my mom as a workaround. He persistently called several more times. I simply turned off the phone. "Who is it? Being so inconsiderate during the new year?" Mom grumbled, but didn't ask further. Leo and I were setting off fireworks in the yard, the dazzling lights illuminating his youthful face. Mom watched us from inside, smiling with relief, probably thinking we were a young couple in love. Early the next morning, Mom told me with a serious face that she had received a scam call. They said it was Ethan, claiming you were tricked by bad people, and urged me to report it to the police immediately. Mom said angrily. As soon as I heard it, I knew it was a scam. Our Leo is such a good kid. How could he be a bad person? I gave him a good scolding. Leo, standing nearby, showed a timely expression of grievance mixed with gratitude. "Thank you, Auntie, for trusting me." Mom felt even more protective of her son-in-law. In the following days, Leo played the role of the perfect boyfriend to perfection. He played chess with my dad, listened to my mom's nagging, rushed to wash the dishes and mop the floor, and kept the house neat and tidy. Watching him busy at work, a long-lost warmth surged in my heart, mixed with a trace of guilt. I knew that all of this was fake, but this brief warmth made me somewhat reluctant to let go. On the 3rd day of the new year, Ethan appeared at my doorstep without any warning. He looked disheveled, with a scruffy beard and sunken eyes, completely lacking the handsome lecturer appearance he once had. "Maya." He saw me, his eyes red. "Come back with me. Are you serious? Just over a piece of clothing, over a small misunderstanding. You want to break up with me?" His tone was full of confusion and grievance, as if I were the one being unreasonable. "Ethan," I looked at him calmly, "we broke up not because of a piece of clothing, nor because of some misunderstanding." "Then why?" he pressed. "Because you looked down on me, because you defended Chloe, because you allowed her to hurt me. More importantly," I paused, speaking each word clearly, "when I needed you the most, you were not there." I hung up immediately. I pointed to my back. "I'm injured. I called you, but you were with Chloe meeting her parents." He probably didn't expect that I would know so clearly. "Maya." He panicked and tried to reach out to hold my hand. Leo stepped forward, standing in front of me, blocking Ethan. "Sir, please leave and do not disturb me." "Maya, and uncle and aunt." Leo spoke politely, yet with an unyielding firmness that brooked no argument. He then turned to my mom, instantly switching to a pitiful tea ceremony mode. "Auntie, this person is so fierce. Does he want to take Maya away? I'm so scared." Mom immediately pulled Leo behind her protectively and glared angrily at Ethan. "What's wrong with you, young man? Bursting into someone else's home and shouting, 'Leave at once.'" Ethan refused to leave, knocking on the door and calling my name outside, repeatedly saying, "Maya, I was wrong. Please forgive me." Mom softened a bit and wanted him to come in and clarify things. I pulled Leo upstairs, and by the window, using the curtain as cover, put on an intense hug and kiss act for Ethan downstairs to see. Of course, it was all just positioning. Ethan downstairs watched with eyes wide open, shouting my name hoarsely, his voice changing tone. The next day, Leo probably got too immersed in acting, and combined with the fatigue from traveling, he caught a bit of a cold. Mom, feeling sorry for her son-in-law, specially killed a chicken to prepare something nourishing for him. just as Leo was holding a bowl of freshly served chicken soup. Trembling as he was about to give it to me, his hand slipped, and the entire bowl of soup, along with quite a bit of chicken blood, splashed right onto Ethan, who had just squeezed in from outside the door. Ethan instantly became a bloody man. Leo was startled and instinctively shielded me behind him. Ethan wiped the blood off his face, his eyes dark and fierce as he stared at Leo. "Kid, name your price. How much will it take for you to leave Maya alone?" He thought Leo was someone I had hired with money. Mom came out of the kitchen, and seeing the scene, her face darkened. She walked up to Ethan, her tone calm yet carrying immense weight. "Ethan, you don't need to use money to insult people. You look down on my daughter for her low education, poor job, and think she's not good enough for you. But have you ever thought about who was the one calling out Maya? You're so wonderful all the time. Who was the one persistently chasing after my daughter? You enjoy the kindness my daughter shows you, yet at the same time, you're out there looking for a more respectable girlfriend. Now that she's found someone better, you come back to cause trouble. If this isn't self-degradation, then what is?" Ethan was left speechless by his mother's words, his face turning pale and then flushed. He took out his phone, seemingly wanting to call his parents. "Uncle, Auntie, don't misunderstand. I'm about to call my parents now. We'll discuss the marriage between Maya and me. I sincerely want to marry Maya." Ethan's face instantly turned pale. He opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but not a single word came out. The call connected, but the voice on the other end was a delicate female voice. "Ethan, is there something you need from Mom and Dad? They're currently discussing where to go for our honeymoon." She was actually at Ethan's parents' house. Ethan's face turned completely pale. He probably wanted to play the role of a prodigal son returning to the right path, but it backfired completely. On the other end of the phone, Ethan's parents also heard the commotion and asked in confusion, "Ethan, who are you talking to? When did you get a girlfriend? Didn't you say you were going to bring Chloe home for us to meet?" Everything became clear. His so-called taking a year to convince my parents to accept me was just another lie. In his plan, there was never a place for me. Looking at Ethan's face, full of cowardice, indecision, and avoidance, I suddenly felt a wave of nausea. I picked up another untouched bowl of chicken blood from the nearby table and splashed it directly onto Ethan. "Get lost. Don't let me see you again. You bring bad luck." Then I grabbed Mom and Leo, turned around, and went back inside, slamming the door shut heavily. Inside, Mom held my hand, her eyes red. "Silly child, Mom already knows." It turned out that as soon as Leo arrived at my house, he confessed that he was rented. He even embellished a tragic love story between Ethan and me, painting himself as the hero who saved me from misery. Mom sighed. "I've saved some dowry money for you. It's not much, but enough for you to start over. When you look for a boyfriend in the future, keep your eyes open and don't choose someone so irresponsible again." I held my mother, tears silently streaming down my face. "Thank you, Mom, and thank you too, Leo," I said to Leo. Leo scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. "It's nothing, customer first." On the way back to the city, I saw Ethan standing at the village entrance, lost in thought, watching our car drive away through the rearview mirror. The first thing I did after returning to S-City was to tag several well-known local gossip bloggers and anti-homewrecker alliance accounts under Chloe's Insta-Live post flaunting her family feast. Soon, Chloe's comment section was overrun. A flood of insults and accusations poured in from all directions. She probably never expected the backlash from public opinion online to come so quickly. A few days later, she messaged me privately, humbly begging for mercy, saying she knew she was wrong and asking me to let her go. It was Chloe. I made her compensate me for my Max Mara coat, then had her publicly post a clarification of the facts and apologize to me. After doing all this, I no longer paid any attention to her. As for what happened between her and Ethan afterward, I couldn't care less. Encouraged by Leo, I quit my job at the bar. Using the money my mom gave me, along with my savings over the years, I enrolled in a professional baking course. I've always loved making desserts, but Ethan didn't like the smell of grease on me before. Now, I can do what I love. My dessert studio quickly got on track, and online orders kept increasing. Friends I hadn't contacted for a long time would occasionally mention Ethan. They said that because of Chloe, his reputation at school was ruined, his promotion failed, and he became quite depressed, often drinking alone and murmuring my name, regretting not cherishing me back then. Some people, once missed, are truly missed forever. Leo graduated successfully. He received an offer from a well-known internet company. That day, he invited me to dinner, looking a bit nervous. Maya, he looked at me and asked cautiously, What are your plans for the future? Would you consider getting married? His eyes flickered, carrying a faint, barely noticeable nervousness, like a small animal awaiting its sentence. That expression full of art appeared again. I looked at him and suddenly smiled. I reached out and took his hand. In his palm, I felt a hard little box. I raised an eyebrow and asked him in return, Mr. Leo, are you coming home with me for the new year this year? Leo was stunned. Then his face blossomed into a radiant smile, even brighter than the sunlight outside the window. He suddenly stood up, so excited that he was almost incoherent. Yes, 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 I'll call Auntie right now. Tell her the good news. He eagerly took out his phone, dialed my mom's number, his voice full of uncontrollable joy. Watching him gesticulate excitedly, I knew I had found the right person. Someone who truly respects me, cares for me, and is willing to face the storms of the future with me. I listened, feeling completely unmoved inside.